If a tenant is having to pay their own council tax, they're having to pay their own electricity and their own gas. Technically, if more people do this, this will become the norm. And as a result, this will then become part of renting your property. Hi guys, it's Arsh, and in today's video I'm going to give you a bit of a UK property market update and a bit of a prediction what's going to happen over the next 6 to 12 months. Now before we do that, I need a small favour from you. If you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell, every time I release a new video you get notified of it. As always, these sessions are recorded and sponsored by the Property Investor app, which is the UK's first property investment platform, which showcases all kinds of deals over the UK. Whether you're looking for that below market value deal, that rent to rent deal, that lease option deal, we've got them all there. So there's two ways to get involved. You can either go to propertyinvestorapp.co.uk, or if you've got a smartphone, go to the App Store, type in Property Investor and download it from there. Now, let's talk about what's going on in the next 6 to 12 months. And the biggest thing that lots of property investors are all shouting about at the moment is the increase in energy prices and the hike that we're going to have. So there's lots of talk, and I know that Martin Lewis is out in the marketplace at the moment and saying, guys, try and cap your rates if you can, try and fix your energy rates where you can. So they're talking about the gas and the electricity prices going through the roof, and the next increase being in October 2022. Now, there's lots of scaremongery in the marketplace. I don't mind saying that. And rightly or wrongly, what do we do about this? So I've sat down and I've thought about this logically from my own portfolio. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? What are the things that I'm going to implement into my property business, which is going to allow me to accommodate and also potentially, more importantly, keep trading. Now, I was on property forums this morning and I typed in, energy prices, etc. And I couldn't believe how scared a lot of people are. So I saw a post out saying, oh, I'm getting out of the business, or I'm not going to be doing rent to rent anymore, or I'm going to turn my HMO back into a single let. And I sat there thinking, has this really got people really scared? Now, think about this from a point of view. When you invest in property, when you take out a mortgage, you're pretty much almost saying to the mortgage company that I'm going to be in this business for the next 25 years. Because I'm taking it out on a 25-year term. Now, within that 25 years, it's never always going to go smooth or sailingly, shall we say. There are going to be price fluctuations. Price is going to go up. Price is going to go down. We're going to have a pandemic. We're going to have all kinds of things. So the way that I see it is that the energy price increase is just a small dent as to the things that we've already had to deal with. Now, there's lots of things that you can do. And the one thing that I'm not going to do, I'm not going to let the energy increase deter what I'm doing in my business. I'm going to make that very clear. Now, think of what we have to deal with on a day-to-day business. Every year, the Chancellor comes out with his little red briefcase and he talks about all the different increases that we have to deal with. So whether you smoke, there's always more costs for cigarettes. Whether you drink, there's always more added taxes onto alcohol. Whether you drive a car, you've seen the price of petrol go through the roof. Now, if you're a petrol station, if you're a local retailer selling alcohol and cigarettes, what do? Do they say, well, in actual fact, I was selling that pack of cigarettes for £2 yesterday. As a result of the increase, I'm going to still sell it for £2 today? No, they don't. They increase the price accordingly. And this is the one thing that I'm shouting out to property investors to do, because if we all do it, it will become the norm. So whether a tenant comes to live with me or you, they should have pretty much the same pricing. So as a result, let's think about this. So if my rent now on that room is, let's say £100 a week, and that includes all the bills, but you're still advertising your property on yesterday's prices at £90 a week. First of all, you're doing yourself an injustice, because chances are that over a period of time, with the increases, you're going to be losing money. So increase yours in line with what everyone else is doing. And as a result, whether the tenant now goes to live with you or I, we're on a level playing field. Now, there are other ways that you can look at energy prices and how to potentially cap them. I've looked at fair usage schemes. They're pretty much useless because that means that you have to implement a usage scheme and also an overage. And it also means that you have to then try and recoup that money off tenants. The theory of it is great. The reality is that it will never work. Now, moving forward, you can also sub-meter your property. When we talk about sub-meter, I've done a video previously on metro meters. So feel free to go and check out metroprepaid.com.co.uk. I don't endorse them, by the way. That's just a link for properties, some meters that I've used previously. I'll see if I can add the video somewhere up there. Hopefully that works. What sub-metering is where you put a meter in each room. And I've done this on a couple of properties and it works really well. The reason why I say that is because the tenants are now responsible for their own consumption. So instead of you now having to include council tax, water rates, electricity, gas and broadband, chances are that you're probably including council tax, water rates, gas and broadband only. You can also sub-meter, believe it or not, the gas meter as well. I've not done that. I know people that have done it and said it works really well. What you're doing, you're pushing the responsibility back onto the people utilising the services in the property. Now, again, if more people do that, that will become the norm. Pretty similar to what councils have been doing with council tax banding. How many of you have got a HMO where the council have come and banded each room separately for council tax? Quite a few of you. And as a result, this will become the norm in the future. Now, if a tenant is having to pay their own council tax, they're having to pay their own electricity and their own gas. You know, technically, if more people do this, this will become the norm. And as a result, this will then become part of renting your property. Now, what people are suggesting in some of these forums is that this increase in hike in prices is an attempt to get more people to sell their properties. And it's working. The scaremongery is working. And the reason why I say that is because I've seen landlords saying, this is the final nail in the coffin. I no longer want to be part of this circus and I'm going to sell my property. And that's great for property investors like me because it gives me more choice of properties in the marketplace. So yes, I'm going to be buying. I'm still going to be buying. Even though I kept saying to myself at the start of the year, I'm not going to buy. But if there's an opportunity like this where people are going to be putting ready-made stock out in the marketplace and they're only scared of utility costs, etc. Yes, I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be buying. I'm going to be buying aggressively. I'm going to be using this to my advantage. So again, predictions, price is going to increase. I'm not going to let it scare me. I'm going to utilize this to my advantage. I'm going to take advantage of the opportunities that come as a result of this. So there are going to be lots of people out there scared. Don't panic. The one thing I'll say is don't panic. You know, I know there are companies out there, and again, I don't endorse these, but there are like the utility warehouse or there are larger warehouses that kind of look at all the bills collectively. Have a look at what they're offering. I don't know how they operate, so I can't say how they operate because I've never used them. But have a look at what they're offering. Have a look, what's the benefits? You know, will they help save some money? Do they scour the market to try and get the best rates? Again, have a look, see what they're offering. Have a look at what that compares to what you're doing. And is there a saving to be made? Have a look at what rents you're currently charging. Have a look at what your competitors are currently charging. Have you put your rate of rents up in the last 12 months or the last 24 months? If not, is now the perfect time. You've got a perfectly good reason to justify your rent increase. So guys, use this time. This is now your time where you don't just take this as an additional cost and almost like take it on the chin. Why should you? No one else is doing that. Petrol companies aren't doing that. If petrol companies took it on the chin, we would still be paying less than £1.50. But no, we're paying closer to £2 because their costs have increased. They've just passed it straight on to consumer. And I think as landlords, we need to take that same stance. And let's face it, tenants need somewhere to live. As a result, if you're just going to keep that low cost and not pass that cost on, or if you're going to take that cost on and not pass it on, the only person that's benefiting is the tenant because they're benefiting from a lower rent, whereas everyone else is charging a higher rent. Now, you may think, well, I'm doing it because I don't want voids, I don't want bad debt. But let's face it, everyone is in the same boat. And this is my whole point. Everyone in the property industry, or everyone that owns a house, is in the same boat. What are they doing that you're not doing? And this may be the difference between a property cash flowing and a property turning into negative cash flow. So if the increase is going to be approximately £300 a month. Can you afford to absorb that £300 a month? No, you can't. Now, over a 6-bed HMO, it may mean that the prices increase by circa £20-25 per month. It may have to increase by more. But again, you've got to have a look at what your utilities are doing. And that's why it's good to have a record of what you paid last year and what you're paying this year and compare. You know, I appreciate it's a boring exercise, but it's definitely one that needs to be done, because this will be the difference whether you make money this year or whether you lose money this year. So there you have it, guys. Hopefully just a few top tips in no specific order, but there are lots of ways that you can work through this. Don't get put off by the scaremongery that's in the media. Yes, prices will increase, but so what? You know what? Mortgage rates increase all the time. You come out of a fixed period into a variable rate, and therefore your price may increase. What do you do then? Do you pass that on to the tenant? Chances are you don't. Your insurance is probably increased. Do you pass that on to your tenant? You probably don't. Your utility bills now have increased. Have you passed that on to your tenant? No, you don't. So again, now's the time to start looking at this as your business and understanding what your costs are, and more importantly, how you can turn this from something that's going to potentially lose money now back into something that can make money. My final point is the people that take in rent to rent. I saw lots of posts, people saying, I'm going to hand my properties back. I'm going to hand my properties back. Perfect scenario for me. Guess what? I'm going to take them. I'm going to take them. I'm going to take them. And if you're an entrepreneur like me, you should have that mindset saying, you know what, guys, this is the period where we're going to grow. When other people are running scared, this is where the strong come out and they say, you know what, this is our opportunity to take advantage. So guys, on that note, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. As always, I've got lots more content out there. As I said at the start of this video, all my videos are sponsored by the Property Investor app, which is the UK's first property investment platform, which showcases all kinds of deals all over the UK. Whether you're looking for that below market value deal, that rent to rent deal, that lease option deal, we've got them all there. Go and check us out. There are two ways to get involved. You can either go to our website, which is propertyinvestораpp.co.uk, or if you've got a smartphone, go to the App Store, type in Property Investor and download it from there. Now, if you want more free content like this that I'll put out into the universe, I've got a podcast which I release every Tuesday at 6 a.m. It's called The Property Rebel. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, just to name a few. Go and search in Google for The Property Rebel podcast. Now, if you want to get social with me, I'm now on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Now, I didn't know what TikTok was, what I did, but I never really got involved. I'm now on TikTok. Go and check me out. All under the handle of Arsh. On that note, guys, as always, I wish you all to be safe, well, and happy. Don't let any of these things put you off. They're there to put you off. The strong will survive. The weak will fall to the side. Be the strong ones, not the weak. On that note, I wish you all to be safe, well, and happy. And I look forward to speaking to you all soon. Thank you and bye-bye.